when you're from England, when you're from Sheffield even, which is worse than being from London, a lot worse, you never think about Europe or America. All you ever think about is, well, Status Quo and Thin Lizzy and UFO and all this lot, they play England. So everybody gets the impression that they're big stars and they're rolling in it, which is not. Obviously, you find out it's not true. And we always thought, well, we'll be a big band in England if we're lucky enough to get the breaks, which happened quickly. We did get the breaks. We're maybe not a big band, but we got the breaks. We got the tours and the album out. But the fact that the album did well in America at the same time as it was doing well in England, the English punters, which I think is a real shame, started taking notice of other people's opinions. They don't form their own opinion. Somebody says, we're sold out to the States. And they think, yeah, they've sold out to the States, without thinking, well, you know, I mean, so the band are doing well in America. So do a load of English bands. Look at the two biggest bands in the world, probably Zeppelin and Queen. And they're as English as you get them. And then you get Sabbath that are big in the States. You know, I mean, Priest are doing well in the States, UFO do well in the States. Everybody from England does well in the States, the fact that they're English. The fact that we did all that on our first ever tour of America, even though we were third on the bill. We weren't headlining, we weren't support act, we were third on the bill. We did half an hour, half 7 till 8 o'clock at night. And we sold 300,000 albums. Now that's not a sellout, that is a case of that so many people in America think we're a good band.
Was that on Mercury you were selling those albums?
Yeah, it was on Mercury. That's the equivalent of Vertigo in America.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, I mean, like, we've had a lot of good press. We've had a lot of bad press, but initially we had a lot of good press. We had a lot of this and that. But people will not buy a record unless they like it. I mean, let's face it, I mean, they might initially buy the odd single because they read a lot about a band. But if they don't like it, they won't play it anymore. It's true, isn't it? I mean, let's face it. You buy a record because of the music. You don't buy a record because of the politics that are being written about in music papers. You know, which is something that I don't like, is the political side of it. I hate it. It's terrible. It's like when we played in Spain. We just done a support tour in Europe with Rainbow. We played in Spain. And there was a cock-up in the timing in Madrid when bands are going on. And it meant us going on 5 hours late, and we'd done a 9-hour drive to the gig. So imagine, like, in a car, 9-hour drive in a car, it's boiling up, I mean, it's like 110 degrees, and you're like, you know, it's really hot, horrid. You get to the gig, and you're supposed to go on in like an hour and a half, and he says, oh, you're not on until 2 in the morning. We said, no way, blow it out, we're not doing it. Fuck the gig, you know, up yours, we're not doing the gig. Within 20 minutes, we were locked in, an armed guard on the gear, the gates were locked, the police were all around the dressing room, our names and addresses were at the border police had our names and addresses, which meant if we tried to do a runner to get away, we'd have been stuck in Spain now, still now. Which meant that we had to go on stage so we could get out of Spain, which is political. So the gig we did that night was totally non-musical, nothing at all to do with music. The case of we went on or we didn't get out of Spain alive. You know, it's basically that one. You know, you play tonight, or we're going to arrest you for inciting a riot. Because in Spain, if they don't get their 3 bands, they go mad. But we've been messed about so much. You know, people saying this and people saying that. Promoters contradicting each other. We were left in such a no man's land, piggy in the middle kind of thing. We thought, we're not having this, you know, we're not, just because we're young, we're not going to let people mess us about like this, because we're not idiots. There's people think, oh, a lot of people think we're puppets. You know, there's a record company or management working us, which is not true. We totally know what we're doing. We know what is happening within Def Leppard. We might be young, I'm the oldest member, I'm 21, but we know what's happening. We started young, we had to learn young. It's not a case that we're naive anymore. I mean, we're naive to things that we want to be naive about, like politics, for instance. I don't want to know about it. That's why, as soon as I hear about it, I shut my ears off and go away. Because all I want to do is go on stage and sing, and write songs and make albums. I don't know. The politics is for the management to sort out. It's not my gig. I don't want to know about it. But when it starts interfering with what we're doing, it puts you off. I mean, you can imagine, we went on stage that night. It was awful. You know, we had to follow Rainbow. It's a case of we closed the show. We didn't even support them. They went on first. We had to go on after them. we'd never played in Spain, nobody's ever heard of us. It'd be like us playing Sheffield City Hall and the Spanish band going on after we'd finished. Who the hell's going to stop and watch them? But as it happened, Rainbow's crew were really good. I mean, like, we got on well with him. We played football with Blackmore all the time. He's a great guy, you know. Something else that the press always get wrong. A lot of people think Blackmore's a twat, and he's not.
He's always promoted himself as being a bit of an arsehole, though, hasn't he?
He might have. I don't know, because, like, I think a lot of people always take Richie Blackmore the wrong way. A lot of things he does is in joking. He's a loony. I think he's a great guy. I personally, having done this tour with Rainbow, I've 500% more respect for Richie Blackmore than I had before. As a guitarist, as a person, for everything. I mean, that guy's been playing guitar in a band since 1963. As far as I'm concerned, he's entitled to do what he wants. It's 1981. He's nearly been doing it 20 years. You know, I mean, if he doesn't want to go on one night, or do an encore one night, then even after 17 years of putting up with slag, which he's had, Richie Blackmore has had his fair share of knocks. He's had more than his fair share of knocks. For a guy to live through that and still be as popular as he is, as far as I'm concerned, if he does what he wants, he's well entitled to. That's just my opinion. It might be wrong, but I mean, I agree 100% with what Blackmore does. I have so much respect for him. I think he's great. I mean, like I was saying, because we got on well with him, like, you know, they let us have the full lighting rig at this gig in Madrid, and the full PA and all the stage, so it wasn't all that bad. But normally we wouldn't have got that. It was only a case that it was just pure luck.
Well, when was that? How long ago was that?
2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. It was July the 4th, and it's now what? 17th?
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's 2 weeks ago. It's terrible. I couldn't believe it. Apparently it's worse in Italy. I mean, we've already said there's no way that we're ever going back to play Spain. Ever. Unless something ridiculous happens, like we get offered 10,000 quid a gig or some stupid fee, we get paid in advance. There's no way that I'm going to go through that again, because it just... I mean, I was literally scared stiff. I mean, there's these coppers walking about backstage, following you to the toilet with a gun out. I mean, how can you imagine going on stage after that? You know, you're like that. It's the first time. I mean, it's terrible. It's just, it's not music. It's just politics. Politics is not. Politics and music don't mix. It's like politics and sport. As far as I'm concerned, the two shouldn't go together. Bad news. Don't like it.
So what I'm going to say is, how come you got on so well over there?
Where, in Europe?
Well, in the States.
Well, all I know is we did an album called On Through the Night. It got released in England. About 3 weeks later, it got released in America, and it started getting a load of FM airplay. I don't know why. Obviously, our management were pushing it. Our management is Lever Krebs, which is a big American management, right? Menchu is kind of in cooperation with Lever Krebs.
I met Krebs recently.
David Krebs, yeah, he's alright. I mean, like, Krebs, they handle everybody in America that's anybody. Nugent, Aerosmith, Joe Perry, God knows, thousands of bands. I mean, all the, you know, a load of big bands in America. And all we got back was we kept getting all these sheets back from the States of all these radio stations that had our album, like, as #1 of the new releases, as airplay of the month kind of thing. And we were getting this all over America. And it so happened that, you know, people were playing the album. That's all it was. It's a case of the American radio stations picked up on the album, played a lot of tracks. We happened to get on a good tour. Once we got like halfway through America, we started the Nugent tour, which was like